welcome to Health Talk here on AETV Live. My name is Ogaga Ekama, and I'm your host. Health Talk is your number one health educating program where I get to interact with different health professionals. Today, I've got Dr. Judith Agunno from the Public Health Department of the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, Delta State, and she's here to enlighten you and I on stress. But before we jump right in, please do have to subscribe to this channel if you are yet to. Turn on notifications so you always be notified whenever a new video drops, and a like and drop a comment so this video can get to as many people as possible. So, Doc, welcome.
Thank you so much, Ogaga. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's good to have you, actually.
Thank you.
Today's topic is stress.
Yeah.
I think this is something that in order not to say everybody, but I think everybody actually.
Yeah, you're right to say
everybody on earth has experienced this at one point or the other.
Exactly.
A couple of persons have experienced it today as well. You can't even tell that maybe one of us is even going through stress at the moment. Do you understand? So,
yes,
so it's a topic that it's very relatable, and that's why we're talking about it. So the topic is not just majorly on stress, but stress management.
Exactly.
Yes, stress management. But before we get to the management part, what is stress?
All right. So I'm going to define it as WHO has defined stress.
Okay.
So it defines stress as a state of worry or mental tension, which is usually caused by a difficult situation. And like you said, almost everyone experiences stress. And that is because stress on its own is an adaptive mechanism.
Oh, wow.
Exactly, yes. Because looking at stress, if you want to look at it as what it is, right? It helps us to fight or to address challenges or threats. Because when you're stressed, that means something is happening. And so when that thing is happening, it means it has to be addressed.
Okay.
And so stress in a way, gives us that edge of protection to be able to address our challenges or any threats that we have around us in our surrounding. But no, the problem is now when you let it become sustained. And now when stress is sustained, that is when it becomes a problem and it brings about the management issue. So stress on its own is natural, is protective, and it helps us even adapt in different climes and different conditions and situations that we find ourselves.
Okay, so I like that angle. It's like you came explaining stress from quite a positive light, like, so it's a good thing. Stress in itself is not a bad thing.
Yes, it's not.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not.
All right. So, but now let's talk about types, because I know that different types of stress. So what are the different types of stress?
Okay, so just for this purpose, there are two types of stress, right? So you have the acute stress and you have the chronic stress.
Okay.
So acute stress is a stress that is short-term in a sense that it's something that's happening here and there, here and here. So you have to address it. It can be good, it can be bad. For example, maybe it's your first time going on an adventure, so you're a little bit excited. So that can also can cause you to be stressed, right? And also it can be bad. Maybe you are involved in a motor accident, and at that point, you're thinking of how to get yourself out of that situation. So you have the good and the bad one in that acute stress. Then you have the chronic stress. So now this is stress that is prolonged, usually for a week or months. Unlike an acute stress that is usually a short-term thing, something that doesn't last till the next day. So, but when you have a chronic stress, which is the other type of stress, it lasts for a very, very long time. And this is usually associated with conditions that are in our everyday lives. For example, you are in a job that you don't like, you are in a marriage that is unpleasant. So all those things, because you're repeatedly exposed to that. So I would say that is an example of a chronic stress.
Okay. So now I think you started touching on some things, giving examples. So it prompts the next question. Okay. What are the causes So I don't know if medically they are grouped medically into some certain kind of a class or something, or it's just some of the things that you've listed now, taking on an adventure or your job, an unpleasant marriage, and all of that. So what are the causes of stress or some of the causes?
Okay. So medically, it's not grouped.
Okay.
So it's not like we went to school and you studied, it's like, okay, on this group, you have stress, this, that, that. No, that's not group. But the thing is that, like you said earlier, right? We all go through stress. Anything can stress anybody. But you should also understand that what is a stress for you might not be a stress for me due to so many factors. And so well, just when I'm giving this example, it's not like everybody must have this particular example for you to be stressed.
Okay.
It's just individual, right? So, for example, like I said, made mention of jobs that you don't like, unfavorable working conditions, stressful marriages, sometimes preparing for marriage itself, or when you're going through a divorce. Then you also have maybe you're expecting a child, pregnancy, or even as women to working class mothers that have to juggle between their work and managing their homes. All those conditions can be stressful for them. They also have losing of loved ones. So that's a major stress for individuals to go through. So anything at all that just heightens you up can be said to be
Now, when you were
stress.
speaking, within me, I could categorize some things as emotional. I
Okay.
could see some as physical. So, is it okay to say there is physical stress and emotional stress? Because I'm imagining losing a loved one. That would be more of an emotional kind of stress.
Okay, yes, I get your angle.
Yes.
Yes, I get your
Then
angle.
the physical stress is maybe you've done a very tedious and demanding task, especially physically, because also you can also get emotional stress if you are doing a mental work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it okay to say, okay, there are some things that can be classified as emotional stress, or this can lead to emotional stress, and this is an emotional stressor, or this is a physical stressor?
Well, I wouldn't say this is, I wouldn't put it that this is an emotional stress, this is a physical stress, because at the end, all of them will manifest as almost the same.
Okay.
But it's more like the causes. You're strained emotionally, you're strained physically, you're strained psychologically. So all of these are just the various causes, but will still lead to the same manifestation of stress.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like how you brought it for.
Okay, so now let's look at what the signs, symptoms, what one could see as a doctor, what you could see, some of the signs you could see, and you say this person is stressed or this person is going through stress. What are the signs of stress?
Okay, so if I mention that, the thing is like when we see patients that are stressed, immediately we don't just look at them as just say, okay, this person is stressed.
Yeah.
Most of them really come in with physical symptoms, like they're sick, they got complaints, they have sickness. Like I'll give an example of a patient I saw some time ago, and he came in and he told me that he has lost his appetite, he has lost weight, and gave me a whole lot of symptoms. And I was trying to I asked him so many questions. Did you smoke? Did you? He said no. So I was trying to figure out why he was having those symptoms that he was having. And eventually he opened up to me that he's stressed and he's just going through so much. And so that has manifested in the way that he came. And so some of the signs of stress is that first, there are so many of them, so let me not itemize it. So you have nervousness. So when you're stressed, you can be nervous, you can be agitated. Any little thing, you're shouting, you're emotionally unstable. Then you also have some of them can come in as anxiety. So they're anxious, they cannot rest, they're restless, they're trying to, they can't just rest. Then others is that it can also manifest as physical symptoms, like people can have headaches, from
Okay.
the stress. You understand? Then inability to sleep. For some persons, they sleep a lot when they are stressed. Then also it can change your eating habits. So it can make you eat a lot or reduce your eating. And with that eating pattern, you see, for somebody that eats a lot, right, you tend to gain weight. I've seen patients that when they are stressed, they gain weight because even somehow they find consolation in food since they are stressed, right?
Why some don't eat?
Why some don't eat. And because of that, they will lose weight. Yes. Then sometimes it can present as abdominal symptoms,
Oh.
can cause ulcers. So
Stress?
yes, stress can cause ulcer.
Interesting.
So sometimes as doctors, when we see patients that come with abdominal pain, we're not like, do you eat pepper? You don't eat pepper. It falls with the, sometimes it's just stress because they have grief. They're probably eating, they don't eat any of those things, but they're stressed. And so that can cause them to have ulcer because of many mechanisms that go on behind closed doors. So yeah, so I think so those are some of the symptoms of how someone can present with someone who is stressed and present with.
It's very interesting. That's the funny thing about the human body. Because you listed at least two symptoms that can go either way, talking about sleeplessness when someone is stressed or people sleeping excessively when they are stressed. So it's like at both extremes of the pole. Then also eating a lot and losing appetite is very, very interesting. All right, this is still Health Talk here on AETV Live, and I am with Dr. Judy Aguno, and the conversation has been on stress management. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do well to subscribe and turn on notifications so you get updated when the next episode drops.